Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Charles Farham's Brewery Resource Roadshows. We're online again, as we've been in the past few roadshow events. I'm delighted today to be welcoming Gino Bart from Fermentis. Gino, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Hi, Paul.
Excellent. Great to see you. And Gino, for those of our guests who don't know you, perhaps you could introduce yourself and say a little bit about what you do at Fermentis.
So I'm Gino. I've been with Fermentis for almost 4 years now. I work in Northern Europe, where I do sales and also technical support, mainly for brewers, because brewing is also my own first love, but also other beverages, cider, spirits, and even wine is popping up a little bit in Northern Europe because, you know, that's the benefit of the climate change. Probably the only one, but grapes are also growing now, even in the UK.
So, and what do you travel a lot in your role?
Yeah, normally I travel a lot. At least 50% of the time I'm on the road. So not only UK, but Ireland, Holland, Belgium, Scandinavia, and the Baltic states. Iceland is also part of my zone, but I never got there so far because it's expensive traveling. So first I need to have some cool customers over there. I have some, but they're too small to visit at the moment. But maybe you know, when it's all opening up again, it will be one of my first trips, and I will make a long one to make a nice tour and visit the scenery of Iceland. That's the benefit of being off the road and being on the road. It's also to see the country and experience a little bit of the culture.
Very nice, very nice.
That's what I do a lot also in the UK. When I visit, I always try to combine it with to go to a concert or visit a museum or, you know, a winery or a distillery or a brewery. That's always the big fun.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
So obviously the last 12 months we've been locked down and struggling to cope. What have you been up to during that time?
Quite a lot, actually. So I've been doing a lot of webinars in my region. I think a total of around 35 webinars.
Wow.
Mainly focused on beer, all different kind of subjects, and I got a lot of people in the classroom. As I call it, it's I had more than 3,000. I think 3,267 or something in total. People, brewers that joined the webinars.
That's
Massive
great.
amount of questions afterwards, always. So it kept me rather busy. And it also brought in a lot of new contacts, which is obviously lovely. And then at home, because, you know, like most of us, we have to stay at home and inside. I did a lot of experimenting with my own brewery, made a lot of brews, a lot of different beers, also complex beers. I made, for instance, a gluten-free sorghum beer.
Okay.
Which didn't came out really nice actually, but it was too. It should have been a lager, but I fermented it at a little bit too high temperature. Filtration was horrible, but it was a good experience. Just to, you know, it took.
Always learning.
Yeah, it took like 7 hours or something to filter. What was it? 22 liters. So that was an experience.
Right.
Yeah, and I use obviously also a lot of some of the new products that we brought on the market, also to get some experience on hands hands-on, because that always helps if you want to you know, explain to others how does it work. Is it fast? Is it slow? If you talk from own experience, it always helps, and it's always interesting also to come up with a nice beverage. So I made a lot of ciders. Actually, I sent Will a bottle for tasting. He enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, he did tell us about that. So
no, I had to send it to his home address. So. And now I made ciders from our 4 new cider yeasts. They're not ready yet because I'm making them the Champenoise style, traditional. So I'm turning bottles now every day.
Wow.
Quarter for the coming, I think 2 or 3 months or so, to get all the residue down, and then I will freeze the neck and pop off the lid, pop off the cork, and then put in a new cork to remove all the sediment to get really a clear, bright sparkling cider.
Very nice.
Actually, I dry hopped them all.
Oh wow!
Because
okay.
I don't like cider personally a lot. So since I made more than 100 liters, I figured I have to I have to make something that I like, and I like hops. I love hops.
Yeah.
So I massively dry hopped it, and I hope it didn't get too bitter, because even if it's dry hopped in a very in a drink like a cider, which has not a really strong full body base,
Yeah.
you easily pick up also some bitter notes. So I hope I did not overdo it, but I can only tell in a few months. These four ciders are very different. So it's one of them is very fruity. It's called the Tutti Frutti yeast, the TF6, and so I'm quite curious about that. Then we have the classic, which is more the balanced cider, dry, with not an extreme flavor
Mm-hmm.
note. Maybe a little bit like, yeah, it has some citrus, it has some exotic fruits, some floral notes. Obviously apple comes through, but for this one it's not extreme. And then we have one that is very floral, a new one, AC4, which really brings out the floral notes the most. So it's a different experience. If you drink it, you also smell it. A nice flowery note. And then we have one which is a little bit more sweet, AS2, which brings out a lot of citrus, more than expected. Actually, that's the one I tasted, because I could not fill everything for this one, so I filled some small beer bottles, and I couldn't resist, and I opened them. So these are quite citrusy. I'm not sure if it's all from these, because as I mentioned, it's dry hop, so it's a lot of hops is also coming through, and also a little bit of bitterness. So we'll see how that cleans up in a few months.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah. And then I also made a Brut IPA, also a Champenoise style. This is only has already been like 4 months or so, so it's almost done.
Okay.
I'm almost ready to pop off the lid and remove the sediment. And then the samples I had from that one were really, really nice, really dry, very fruity, as it should be actually. So I'm quite proud about that one.
And which yeast did you use in there, Gino?
For the Brut IPA, it's the South Brew, which one? DA16.
Okay.
Yeah. So sorry, I was thinking, because in my mind there's another yeast which is just new. It will pop up tomorrow on social media. Maybe okay. I can give a scoop here or not.
A scoop, yeah. Well, it won't go out until after this anyway, so we're okay.
Okay. So we have a new one. It's the LD20, which is it's also a yeast enzyme combination, and it's for low carb dry lager beers. We think this is a style that will develop quite fast over time, a little bit following the seltzer trend. But many brewers that make seltzer, and we already have quite a lot of people that make hard seltzer with the NEB3 we have, Springfirm NEB3 product. It works like a sham, but a lot of brewers, like working with malt, like working with hops, so they want to have something, in line. Can we make some? So we got those questions. Can we make something, low carb, but still, a little bit more related to beer? So that's why we are coming with this brand new product. I didn't test it yet, but I've been reading about it today, and that's why it was in my mind. Sometimes you mix up a little bit the numbers, So this one is called LD20. The other one for the Brut IPA was a DA16.
Okay.
And then what I've also been doing is exploring a little bit more the spirit side. I got some sugarcane molasses to make rum, I
Wow.
get quite a lot of questions about rum. A lot of brewers are now also making rums on the side, because obviously this is quite shelf stable, and it's really high value. I would say you can keep it a long time. So brewers kept on going with the making spirits. So I thought, let's have a go at it, and I made 3 different ones and distilled them all, and it's all still fractionated because honestly, I'm not very experienced in spirits as a taster, because I don't drink a lot of spirits myself. I'm not a real spirits person, so I don't know if it's good or not. It's the base, so the hearts taste quite nice, and then the heads and the tails. Some of them, I think the last fraction of the heads is really nice, and the first fraction of the tails brings some multi character, but all the other fractions I would not put it in the final beverage. But it's, so that's something I've been exploring, mainly also working with my distilling equipment to see, okay, what is a good temperature, how fast should I do it. I've been distilling before, but just for neutral alcohol. And so you just then switch it on and keep it going until the temperature is boiling point, and then you stop. But now I really did short temperature steps, so 1 degree, and then fraction that 1 degree higher fraction that, and then see if the column temperature comes down. I have the full fraction, so it was quite big fun actually, just to learn a little bit more also about distilling. Yeah. I made some hop extracts with with the alcohol I made, and those are quite interesting also. They're quite bitter. I didn't expect that. So if you leave it for quite a long time, they get really bitter.
Yeah.
I thought I would only get the flavor, to do kind of like drop in. So far, I've not been successful, with making something that is really nice. So I figured it would be better to start with something simple like fruit, get a citrus or an orange, and try to get the notes from that to touch up some beers.
It sounds like you've been experimenting on lots of things there as well.
Yes, yeah. And I'm growing hops, as you know. So the first shoots are out in my garden. I'm very happy.
Good. Very good.
Yeah. So it's the last year's harvest I didn't use because I dried too fast, so they all turned brownish. Which I know I don't like the side of things. So this year I hope I can harvest properly. Obviously, with all your tips that help. I got great tips from Will.
Good.
So I hope I can manage to.
And somebody tells me you've also been brewing some porters, and you've won some. Did very well at the national homebrewing competitions as well.
Yes. I got 10th actually with with the Baltic Porter. I love porters, and so the Baltic Porter is a little bit stronger, and they appreciated a lot. The main comment was, "Thank you for sending in the beer. I really love the taste, the taste of it." And so it was the first time actually I entered a national competition. So we have two national competitions. This was the smaller of the two. So there were, I think, around 540 brewers participating. Because the national one didn't go through because of the COVID situation, but this one did. It was just after summer, so I was quite happy with as a first timer.
That's very good.
Already reached the 10th position, which very very nice, and the beer is lovely. It's almost finished actually. I only have 2 bottles left. I didn't really share it with anybody because
too good to share.
You cannot. Well, no, I love sharing beer actually, and beverage that you make yourself, because honestly, if you brew yourself, you always think, oh, this is very good, but it's always better to have somebody else's opinion because they will say, oh, it's not that good.
Yeah. And which yeast did you use? Do you know?
For the porter, SO4.
SO4. Yeah. And that works well in the porter. Yeah.
Works great in a porter. Yeah, you have it settles really fast because I think a porter it should be dark, but it also should be bright.
Yeah.
It should be clear, no haziness. And SO4 works like a rock star for a Baltic porter. It brings in a little bit of fruitiness, but not too much. So it's not overwhelming the malty character that you need in a porter. So it was a lovely beer. I need to make some tweaks, obviously, to reach a higher position, which I will do. Maybe for the next competition. So far, there are no competitions scheduled for the homebrewers, at least.
Yeah.
For craft brewers, there are some scheduled now.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure there will be more as we go forward and gradually.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And so that's what you've been doing at home. So it sounds like you've been keeping busy. You've got plenty going on there.
Very much.
But what about at Fermentis? Have you had any new products coming through there from Fermentis?
Yeah. So in I think late 2019, early 2020, we came with a new yeast for kettle souring, the LB1, which is we already had the LP652, which is homofermentative, and the LB1 is heterofermentative, so it produces next to lactic acid also some acetate and also some ethanol. So it's a bit more close to more classic sour, I would say. I didn't test it yet, so I have to trust, our R&D team. So that's new. Obviously, we launched the Springfirm NEB3 to produce seltzer. This product really is fantastic because it's really made to do an optimal fermentation. So it's if you add a yeast, because you still have to add a yeast, so it's like a mineral yeast nutrient product. Mm-hmm. And if you add a yeast, so we have we did tests with some cider yeast, some wine yeast, some brewing yeast. So we have already quite a lot of data, which ones are the best. We even tried cider yeast, and so you can make within like 3-4 days a very high ABV neutral drink with this product, just based on sugar. So it's something new. Personally, I'm not a big fan of seltzer, but a lot of people are. And maybe it's been the weather, because now if the sun starts shining, maybe I like it a little bit better. Just this it's like sparkling water with a twist, I would say. And this product is really doing well. We have a lot of customers already using it. So we are also optimizing dosing and on the fly, just from market return. And now we have, like, if you add 15 gram per hectoliter per degree Plato, it will work like a rock star. And I think a lot of people that that are into fermentation and also follow-up fermentation will be amazed by this tremendous speed. We did fermentation that were done in 2 days, completely out fermented and neutral, which is quite impressive. Normally you have to wait at least a week or 1.5 weeks, for your beer to complete, but there are other ways. So also in terms of experimenting, it's what happens if you add this to beer, to wort. There are many applications that still need to be explored, just to optimize fermentation. So that's quite interesting. Then we have, as I already mentioned, the 4 new cider yeast that were put on the market. I think for the next harvest, so it will be after summer when the apples are ready. I'm now preparing actually a new series of webinars. So I did also webinars with you guys, with Charlie and Emily.
I'm sure Charlie will put them up along the screen here so people can see what.
So I'm obviously also including the cider yeast, because I think there's massive potential for cider in the UK. A lot of people drink cider in the UK, and also, as I mentioned, in combination with hopping cider, it's or giving it another twist with another fruit. There are many opportunities to come up with an interesting product that are easy to combine, as a brewer with the stuff that you normally do. It's I make these myself based on apple concentrate. You can get it easily. I think they can even get it with you.
Yeah, we stock apple concentrate as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very easy to get to. You just put it in the kettle and you start, and you're done. So no brewing work required. It's finished quite fast, and so you can add a completely new product line to your current portfolio quite fast. And I think with the outdoor hospitality in the UK already opening up, tap rooms will be open, everybody outdoors, and when in a few weeks when the sun is there, I think people will are ready to taste the new things that have been worked on in the lockdown period, because I'm very, very sure. I've been in contact with many brewers from the UK also, who have been experimenting like crazy. So next time I visit you, I expect at least that I can have a Belgian style triple or a Belgian style blonde. The ones that I like. I also like cask beer, but not that much. I've been brought up and grown up with triples and blondes. So now I expect they will be wildly available also in the UK. Sometimes I like a good cask beer is excellent. It can be great. I always hope there's a bit of foam on it, but that's sometimes a bit hard. It's also along with the style, but it's very nice because it's part of your culture, and that's what also makes it enjoyable to drink. When I'm there.
Yeah. No, it's been nice getting back to cask the last few days. Yeah. This is being recorded just after the pub gardens have opened, so I'm not quite sure when we're going out, but pub gardens are just open. So it's been probably about 4 months now since I've had a pint of cask beer. So getting back out last night and going having some cask beer was delicious.
Yeah. I also look really forward to. I don't mind drinking anything. Just going out would already be lovely. Yeah, seeing some other people. I mean, I love my family, but it's sometimes you're ready to meet some other people also.
Yeah, it's nice to see another part of life, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
Well, we've covered a lot of things there, Gino, and I'm sure there's lots of people got lots of ideas for new experiments to do. I think you're right. People have been experimenting a lot over the lockdown period, and there will be a lot of new beers that will be coming out. It was quite interesting. We found a lot of people were sticking to traditional recipes that they'd been brewing for a while and going back to those when it really clamped down early COVID period. But then as things have gone on, people have experimented a little bit more and tried a few more things and perhaps put a few more beer recipes in. So it'll certainly be interesting to see how the market expands from here. And we're hoping that we will see some of those Belgian beers here as well, and we can go and enjoy them next time that you're over. That'd be great. So I really appreciate you joining us today. It's been great fun catching up, and for coming and sharing your experiences with us. It's been really good. And for those of you who listen to this, hopefully you'll join us again for the next BRR Brewery Resource Roadshow event and catch up. Normally we have these in person, and we can come and see Gino, or he can come and see us and share with us his information. But of course, online it's very helpful at this time. But we're looking forward to getting back to those days where we can see each other face to face as well. So please look out for other presentations in the series. And say thanks, Gino, for joining us again. Really appreciate your time, and we'll see you again soon.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.